Greetings, friends, and welcome back to more F1 Manager 22. My name's Yodin. Thanks for being here with me as we continue our Haas F1 dream with a, honestly, incredible start. Mick Schumacher is the 10th driver in the grid right now. Kevin Magnussen is 9th place. We had a fantastic, if unexpected, finish last episode, and of course I was so dumbstruck by all the amazingness that I didn't even know it was the last lap, and we did manage to pass over Lewis Hamilton once again to stay in the points. So, at the moment, Haas is exactly where the board wants us to be. They are delighted that we are currently where we are. We are, in fact, at our current on-target progress for the season objective. However, we got to be a little bit careful because that's not a guarantee that we're going to stay there. So, what do we have going on? Let's review a few things that we've really not looked at yet. Now, I wanted to take a quick glance at some staff information. We don't have any development points yet, so let's read into that. Staff earn development points after gaining enough experience. These points can be used to train and enhance their technical abilities. So, Simone Resta here has fantastic, well, I don't even know if that's fantastic. That's probably average front wing, rear wing, and underfloor skills. Remember, our staff are fairly middle of the road. If I remember correctly, we're at about a 5 out of 10 on the grid. The other thing I haven't looked at is actually the pit crew. That's something I've not worked on at all yet. So our pit crew ratings. Training focus is currently balanced. We can work on front and rear jacks, tire changes, wing adjustments, and car release. Interesting. So if we focus on one of these, training focus will increase all ratings equally throughout the season. That kind of makes sense, although we are honestly really lacking a little bit in tire changes. So if everything would be balanced under the balanced training focus, it would kind of make sense for us to bring up the tire change skill and then continually work on the balance from there, because tire changes are really, really important. And you did kind of watch in some of those clips as people were putting the tire on very, very slowly. That could be just a graphical thing too, but honestly, looking at our stats, it's probably pretty accurate. They're just really slow. Monthly salary, we really don't have much at all. A good pit crew could save you valuable seconds when pitting. There's no customization options here. One of the things that I enjoyed in the Motorsports Manager game was the ability to hire and fire your pit crew. There was some micromanaging aspects that you could hand off to your assistants, but you did have to kind of sub out some of your crew, which I thought added a little bit more of a layer of depth to really planning out which important races were coming up, who are you going to reserve, etc., etc. So Mick Schumacher is paired with Gary Gannon. He is his race engineer. We've got a good affinity together. Every driver is paired with a race engineer who exclusively talks to them via radio during the race. How well they work together depends on the race engineer's skill, experience, and the time they've been paired. High affinity boost will boost both the driver's race and the race engineer's morale, which makes it easier to renew their contracts. So far, our lead engineer for Mick is pretty happy. Ed Reagan here is also, low affinity. Interesting. Low affinity with Kevin. Only paired together for 2 weeks, while Gary has been paired. Oh, that makes sense then. Mick and Gary have been paired together for 54 weeks, but Ed Reagan here is only relatively new. So it would kind of make sense that we're not going to have a fantastic flowering relationship right out of the gate. Scouting team. We currently have 2 out of 2 available scouts. I think that's because we are limited by our actual scouting capacity. We have level 1 scouting department, so if we were to upgrade that, it would let us have 3 scouts. And at the end of the last episode, did I actually start scouting somebody out, or am I just like thinking completely random things? No assignments just yet. Although I think I want, there it is. No, that's hire driver. I swear I said somebody to scout, didn't I? I guess not. Oh, there it is. Yeah, scouting in progress. So we are currently scouting Jack Doohan, and we're scouting Theo Pourchaire. I think I pronounced that right. I'm not incredibly confident there. There are a couple of free agents here. Nobody that's entirely super familiar. Oh, David Schumacher. Is that another Schumacher legacy? 20 years old, 47%, or 47 overall rating. So none of these free agents are incredibly fantastic. Roberto Meri is 30 years old, probably at the peak of their career. Very high patience for negotiation attitude. Okay, fair enough. And nothing else really jumps out at me. I appreciate that we can dip down to the F2 and F3 series. I think it would be cool if we could get more information out of the F2 and F3 series, just to see like maybe what teams are doing well and kind of a simulated performance. Is there any information? No, it's only F1. So we are hyper focused on F1 in this game. I think that's going to become a complaint later on as things progress, and I'm not really sure how much this game is open to modding or will be open to modding come release. So I'm curious to see if the player community can kind of expand the gameplay and add in more content. But if the core mechanic is missing, I'm fairly sure the modders can't just add in a brand new button that says, hey, let's look at Formula 2 and 3. So we'll have to see what's in the final release. What's coming up this week? We have a facility construction upgrade, the team hub, a factory event, and then we have Saudi Arabia. Let's take a look at Saudi Arabia and see what's coming up. So a couple of periods of slower turns. Actually, this is kind of a slower track overall. Lots of twisty turns here. So I'm guessing that the cars that are going to have a good performance on turns and low speed. What am I looking for here? There it is right here. Car attributes. Top speed is important. Medium and high speed corners. Top speed DRS is right. I mean, if everything's crucial for the circuit, nothing's crucial for the circuit, but it looks like high speed dirty air is going to help you stay close to your competition. Expected tire strategies here. We've got 9 laps on the soft tires, a stint on the medium tires, and then a stint on the soft. It does look like a one-stop is possible. So like we executed this in the last race. If you start on the hard compounds or vice versa, I assume, you'd be able to go for a one-stop. Here is the compound performance. This is something we did not look at last race, but interestingly, we saw the fact that the mediums were doing better. As far as I could tell, the mediums were doing better than the softs once things got going. And I'm guessing that's like, you know, game day performance is going to be a little bit different than what you might anticipate. Time considerations. Over the last 4 seasons, there have been a guaranteed at least a safety car or a virtual safety car. Meanwhile, car analysis and stuff like that, I think we are still continuing to work on our projects. We're designing our front wing. We've got 22 days left with our engineering crew completely split. So that means I'm fairly sure we can't do anything with our factory development, car part development, new project. Yeah, manufacturing wise, we're not really, there's no reason to make the basic chassis. We don't have any kind of issues with our current parts. Can't research anything, of course, until the new contract is signed later in April as well. Okay, let's go ahead and push onward. And we're pretty much immediately there. Important email here. We've got race prep, race preview. At the moment, Ferrari are leading the pack in the Constructors' Championship by 10 points with Carlos Sainz up on top. Everyone is sure to be keeping a close eye on Sainz, who took first place at the last Grand Prix, of course. Good morning, and thank you so much, Ed Regan. Regan. Not really a whole lot of information here. Race prep. Performance targets. We reach Q3 finish position of 12th place and then qualifying position streak. We're not really I doubt we're gonna get any kind of a streak going. Well, if it's just one driver, honestly, that's kind of a possibility. What about a finish position streak? We can edit this. What if we say that for 5 races, I kind of like this as it is, we are going to try to say that for 5 races in a row, at least one driver will reach 14th position. Why can't we guarantee this? Is this not good enough? Or is it because it's the default? All I have to do is just check the box. Okay, so we are trying to declare that in the next 5 races, we will have at least one driver above 14th or 14th or better. I like that one. That's a pretty aggressive guarantee. I do think we can at least get through the first round of qualifying. Maybe I'm being a little bit overzealous. Race targets, fastest lap. That was honestly really cheeky that we even got that last time. I don't particularly think it's guaranteed at any given time. Car builds, driver's overview. We understand all that stuff. One thing I didn't really look at, by the way, was the cost cap. I saw that when I was bouncing through some menus. So a cost cap limits the spending on anything that impacts a car's performance. The only time that a team may break the cost cap is if they need to make an emergency purchase, but it will incur a fine. So we have spent 28 million. We are projected to spend 41 million. So we have a lot of money in the cap. And I think the outgoing is estimating based on what we're currently researching. And this is a cap. If I remember, this was introduced in the non-COVID year. Like, it was supposed to come into play, I think, when COVID hit, and it was pushed a year out. But the cap is supposed to help all the teams equalize, right? So if you're Mercedes and you've got tons of money, it's hard to compete with that if you're Haas or if you're Williams. So I think this was in place to help the teams sort of equalize and catch up together. Do we get a little intros as well? A Saudi Arabian intro. Ooh, did I spill my monster?
Formula One is back. Welcome to one of the fastest circuits on the calendar here at Jeddah. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix is about to kick off, and the atmosphere here is electric. The Jeddah Street Circuit has one of the fastest average speeds, as well as the most corners of any track on the calendar.
I didn't know that.
Good high-speed downforce is going to make life in the fast lane a little easier for drivers here this weekend. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport,
what if we try putting the tires on the car?
Guarantees. The weekend begins here.
Saudi Arabia, I think Saudi Arabia is a newer track, relatively, right? I mean, it used to be. I'm a little bummed because every so often I'll go into the F1 TV archive. If you subscribe to F1 TV, you can get the archived races, and I like to watch the races from like 2012 to 2013 and on, because that's when a lot of the newer, like especially Ricciardo was getting really hot, Verstappen was getting really hot, Lewis had started his grand campaign of destruction and domination, and it's just fun to kind of watch back over the years. Especially when Crofty and Martin Brundle and David Croft got together in the announcer's booth. I think it's a fantastic pairing. All right, anyways, enough rambling. Mick Schumacher and Kevin Magnussen, we are going to stick, I don't know. Do we want to try our reserve driver here? I don't really see any reason to use a reserve driver other than to like if someone's sick or something, right? We probably do want to, maybe on a race that's not as important, we want to bring in Pietro so he can build up his own car part knowledge. So our car part knowledge is actually really high. We kept all the knowledge because none of our parts have changed between this race and the last race. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and start out with the soft compound on both drivers. The car setup, I'm going to leave this pretty much even. We'll just get the information from the drivers, and I'm going to go ahead and just send them right out into practice number 1. I'm going to probably manage the first 2 practices, and in order to save us a little bit of time...
Ready check, Kevin. Radio's good.
Heck yeah, radio's good. In order to save us some time, I'm probably not going to show you the entirety of practice because that does eat up a lot of time. But I'll tell you what, while we do this first initial outlap, let's take a quick look from the Mick cam, if you will, and we'll see what the track looks like. It looks so good, though. I still can't get over the engine quality. Although sometimes as the drivers are taking corners, it makes me really wonder if like I'm playing F1 2022 completely wrong and taking the corners completely differently. Any rain in the forecast? Not really. 35%, a little bit on 40%. I'm really excited to see some rain at some point in the future. I would love to see a really nasty weather race, a foul weather race, if you will. And of course, somehow there managed to be another crash during practice. What is happening right now?
VSC.
I'm going to ignore the call-in because it's practice. We don't necessarily need to react. Alexander Albon has crashed out.
I think that was a crash. Here's the replay.
What is happening in practice here?
Here's
I mean, it does happen, but multiple cars, it's rare that multiple car collisions happen during... What?
And
Holy
there's the
crap!
hit, and it's crystal clear who was in
Jeez,
the
that was
wrong
awful.
there.
Can I watch more replays like that? Oh, man. I'm kind of bummed that I can't watch... manually watch more of a replay, like of a couple of seconds ago. Okay, end of practice session number 2. Kind of weird. We have the number 1 time, and we have the number 16th time. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. I honestly didn't push Mick, though, so that kind of does make some sense. We did not have them out long enough to get that 5 out of 5 feedback, though, so that might be a bit of an issue going into the next the next practice session. So let's go ahead and hit continue. We're at 100% car part knowledge, which is great. I think we started this at 35, so our track acclimatization is continuing on as we expected it to.
Hello, and thank you for joining us as our race weekend unfolds. free practice is nearly done, and that means that qualifying awaits.
The qualifying does await. If you are not familiar with F1, I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but there is something called a sprint, which is a type of qualifying that is done now in F1, and I don't know if they've got sprints in the game. It's not in every single race that we have a sprint, but it's basically a mini race, and that results of the mini race determine your starting position in the full race. And I don't remember if you get any points from that either. Anyways, car setup. We did get a little bit of feedback, but not a complete list of feedback. So, keeping the same setup. I don't think we're going to use more than one hard compound this weekend, so let's put the hards on, and I'm actually going to send him out for a pretty long stint. And I think the hard tires should go for how long? 45 laps. Cool. So then, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to run for 30 laps. The goal of this is just to build up a nice, steady increase of the track familiarity. That's my plan for both drivers, because I do think that our setup is pretty much on the money here. We just didn't get feedback for all 5 sections. So, hard tires for you, my friend. Double the length of your stint. And maybe we'll have time for one more right before quali. Interesting. So, taking a look here, by the way, at the practice goals, we're actually going to cap out on our track familiarity here earlier than the stint ends. So as soon as our drivers get maybe to about the halfway mark of this practice.
Kev, how's the balance?
I'm happy here.
I'm happy that you're happy,
understood,
Kev.
How's your balance?
I love the little radio clips here.
It was okay.
Mick,
Yeah.
it's just so dead inside. You're so dead inside, Mick. No, it's fine. Very calm and cool behind the wheel there. No complaints, right? So, as soon as we hit the halfway point of the practice session, I think I can just bring them back, because they did get 5 out of 5 feedback on the current setup. And by that time, we're almost maxed out on track knowledge, right? So we can try to get the last little bit of track knowledge as we're just doing the last bit of fine-tuning on our session. Russell hasn't come out yet. What's going on with Williams? Or, what's going on with Mercedes? Oh, there he goes. Or not. Maybe he's just stuck in. I can't see him. How weird. Actually, I don't see him in here at all. Come over to... I don't like that I can't always see the timing screen. I kind of want a way to just force minimize that. Okay, so Russell's still 8th or whatever. Yeah, I think we can pull our cars in. Let's go ahead and tell the drivers to come back in. Cancel the currently active run once the car enters the pit lane. Cancel the active run. I don't think that's necessarily bad. Let's use Mick as an example and see if we lost any knowledge here. I don't think we did. I think we got all that setup info, right? Yes, we did. Awesome. So in that case, we've got a little bit of time left. We've got at least 1 or 2 tires here for the next qualifying cycle. Let's use one more set of softs. And, ooh, this is kind of car part stuff, right? Yeah, we can change which part we're using. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about reliability just yet. I'm sure that will come to bite us in the butt later in the season. Let's tweak everything just a smidge, with the exception of maybe the rear wing, because that is what's controlling our straight setup. So everything's a little bit away from where it was. That is fine with me. We've got about 30 minutes left, so we'll have enough. Let's see, time to configure. Tires is 6 seconds. So 30 seconds. We'll have 30 minutes left of this race. Oh, I think I misunderstood this, by the way. I think I was reading time to configure as how long this next stint will take. This is definitely 30 seconds, not 30 minutes. So, do I have to do math here? I was told there would be no math. Oh, God, we're running 133s. I know I really don't have to do this, but I feel like Guenther would want me to. Mr. Steiner, sir, I will do you honor. Gene Haas, I'm not going to let you down, my friend. I will do the calculator. We're doing like a 133. I keep opening the wrong app. Where is the calculator? Okay. We're doing like a, let's say like a 133.5, right? That's kind of what we're doing. 133.5. And then It's going to be 20. Okay, that's 20 minutes. So we've got enough time to, I think we got enough time to do 20 laps here. This is where you all get to see my failure at math. 26 minutes. I think this is going to be okay. Let's try to do 20 laps and see what happens. Let's go ahead and call Mr. Kevin in as well. Completed. Send you out. Reconfigure you, my friend. You get some soft tires. You get soft tires. Everyone gets soft tires. Optimal on the straights as well. And then we'll just kind of tweak everything a tiny bit, but not the rear wing. I got the wrong thing there. So, other way, maybe. Okay, that's good. The straights are pretty much the same thing. And then run plan, we're going to bring that down to 20 laps. And cool beans. As they say. As I say way too many times. Why is this such a long... This feels like it's much longer than everybody else, right? How much did I just change here? 25 minutes still. I think we're still okay. Send you out. What does the estimation say? I think we're... Now that's a bit weird. Why does it tell us? That's so strange. So, Mick is going to tap out on his track knowledge, but... Oh, there it goes. Okay, the orange bar wasn't actually going. Fair enough. We will max out on our track knowledge here, which is fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and speed things up until we get to the end of this practice session. The feedback is actually coming pretty quick. We're already at 2 of 5. So as long as we have 5 out of 5 by the end of this practice session, that means we should get the full feedback. All right, we're getting it. We're understanding how this goes. By the way, there was a tutorial. For those of you who didn't see me skip it, I did definitely skip the intro kind of familiarity and instruction to the game. So I would highly encourage you, if you are someone who enjoys that and wants to make sure that what I'm doing here isn't completely horse crap, to go through that tutorial and just listen to kind of what the introduction of the game has to offer. Okay, hang on. There's a crash on the track. Can I see this real quick? I want to see who's wiping out right now. Can I go through every single person? No, I want to see it. Valtteri is into the wall. All by his lonesome. I think he lost the brakes through a chicane. Valtteri. This is why we can't have nice things, my friend. This is so weird to see.
There's been a crash. Sounds like a single
I mean, I guess not. There are a lot of red flags
now
solo.
let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved
I think
in
this is
one.
the back straight. Oh, yeah. Wow, that looks terrifying. That was the same place that Albon crashed with somebody else, like, ran into the back of him. I don't encourage, like...
Team are devastated.
Huh.
They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
That's actually a pretty cool little cutscene. I'm not someone who, like, really enjoys watching anyone suffer or anything like that, but, like, I think because it's a simulation, because it's a video game, it would be kind of interesting to see some of the replay, like, more replay functionality. But if the damage model's not that good, that might be the reason they don't have much replay. It's just, it happens, and you can't see what happened, because it is what it is. So, we have a 14 out of 15 performance boost, a 13 out of 15 for Kevin. 100% track knowledge and setup confidence is not too great for Kevin. Maybe I can kind of adjust that going into the next qualifying. Or going into qualifying, I should say. I think we're going to keep everything the same. Let's double check that we have the best tire compound. We do, a brand new fresh tire. Highest confidence setup is all we've got. I think I'm not going to mess with this at all. Let's just leave it as it is. One flying lap. That makes sense. Kevin, can we do anything about your setup? I can revert to a better setup, actually. Revert all current setups. We're at 79%, so may as well revert to what's better, right? Reverting to what we already know is good. So let's revert to the better confidence setup. Make sure he has a good set of soft tires, and we are good to go for the first round of qualifying for Saudi Arabia. Exciting. I get excited about the most basic things, obviously. It's like, how exciting it's qualified. How exciting it's the race. Oh, let's take a look here. We estimate that traffic is going to be relatively smooth right up until the end. It's pretty overcast at the end of the session. I don't know what that's going to do. I would think that cools the track down. Yeah, sure, okay. Track grip is expected, though, to be the same throughout the entire session, as well as track rubber. Suggested compounds for the dry track. Yeah, that makes sense. Air temperature. Track temperature is really freaking hot because, well, it's in the middle of Saudi Arabia. I love all the data. Love, love, love all this data. All right, let's go ahead and split the team out a little bit. And there we go. Nice big gap in front of Kevin here for his first go-round. Pretty good amount for Mick as well. Well, I said that. That's actually really annoying. Somebody's right in front of Mick. I wonder if they're going to make way for him. Yeah, okay, so they do make way, which is nice. But that's still going to be a little bit of dirty air that he had to deal with. Kevin, I think, has the same thing. Oh, that's super annoying. I wonder if you heard any, like, let off the gas there. What is was it Seb? They made like the meme video where it's like blue flag, blue flag. In F1, if you're unfamiliar, if a faster car is approaching you, you will get a blue flag indicating that you should let them pass you. All right, our first trip down the qualifying lane. A lot of cars still haven't gone yet. We're doing a one. I actually want to see the full times, please. We're doing a one. What? I'm so confused. That can't be right. We already did our... This isn't our... Oh, this was our in-lap, I think. Oh, God, that really messed with my head. So, we're doing a 130.7? Is that what I'm reading off that? I think so. Hard to get that data. I guess I'll keep the same tires on. I don't know if we need to change out to a new set of softs or not. We can probably use the same set. Oh, that's right. We're doing multiple sessions of qualifying. I keep forgetting that. Let's keep the tires on. Let's see if we can't find a nice empty bit of track to go through. What did the estimates say? It's pretty much going to be even track. The white bar here, I think, is how busy it is on the track. How much other traffic there's going to be. Yeah, expected traffic is very low, so everyone's like going out at their own time, maybe. All right, same tires, no change in plan. Off you go, my friend. Alrighty. We'll have just one more. I'm going to wait a little bit longer to see if there's any difference in like track rubber or anything like that. All right. Oh no, I put Kevin right on the booty of Mick here. We'll see if that impacts anything. There's still 4 people to do their pass, and unfortunately Perez is likely to be in the top 15. So we're not safe yet. We're down in 13th. 2 more drivers to go. Okay, we are on the bubble. But I think that everyone else still has 1 more pass left, unfortunately. We really didn't improve our times either. That is not fantastic. We don't have enough time for yet another run. So honestly, we're just going to have to kind of wait here and see. Or maybe we can squeak out 1 more run. Let's try it, I guess, for funsies. It's the same tire, so it doesn't really matter. Is everyone going to be able to go out right now? No, it takes too long. Well, to be fair, you only have to cross the start-finish line to be able to finish your lap. You have to be on your lap. How do I describe this? You have to be past the start-finish line when the timer hits 0. And then your entire lap will count. So I guess let's just try to set them out and see what happens. Yeah, so we're going out at the lead. I think everybody can get out here. Let's go ahead and confirm Kevin. He was a little bit late because I waited too long to get him going. All right, so we've got 2 minutes left in the session. This is the out lap. So all we have to do is cross the start finish in 1 minute and 30. So Mick is on his run, and Kevin's going to get around here okay as well. So Kevin's going to have his run too. So you have 1 more chance, my friends, to see if we can't keep everything nice and safe. I don't like the fact that we are on the bubble. That makes me very uncomfortable. But Vettel, Stroll, I mean, this is Williams and Aston Martin. They are expected to be the bottom 2 teams along with us. So if no one else comes up out of the 15th, we're fine. Performance is a lot different than our last race. Oh, we did get bumped. We did get bumped. What does this mean for Ricardo? Does he have an injury? Does he have a car problem? Is this car injured? Ricardo's on the bubble. Mick is out of qualifying. I should have probably paid a little bit more attention to how the qualifying worked. Kevin did a little bit better, so he did manage to go up into 12th, which means I think we have an obligation to our sponsor that we just met. Okay, so Mick is out of qualifying. That's okay. And did we actually get something for our sponsor here? Qualifying position. I did promise the qualifying position. Ugh, we have to get to Q3. Is our... Well, we don't have to. That's our incentive. Cool beans. All right. Interestingly, our... Why can't I go back to my 80% confidence level? How strange. Let's go ahead and do a new set of softs here. And move on to session number 2. I promise we'll finish this through.
Ready, check,
And
Kevin.
still be able to have enough time for the next race.
Radio's good.
Traffic's going to be up. I mean, there's no difference in track grip. So it's really who you're... If we set out really quick, maybe we'll be able to jump out in front of everybody and not have any traffic. That's the goal, right? You don't want to be right behind someone. And I bet that does impact your driver's performance. I bet it does. What does this manual control do? Let's do this. What does this change? Yeah, it just tells us what to deploy. Go ahead and deploy your ERS, I guess. We're right around the corner here. And everything else is... Oh, shoot. All right, well, I took over at a wrong time. I should have been doing that at the start of the turn, I think. Can you micro the ERS, like, only turn it on during the straights? No, he's using it pretty much the whole time. Survey says 130.59. I think the leaders are like 129 point something else. So that was not too bad. If Pierre Gasly's going a 1.9 above the leader, that means that we're pretty close in. I'm not disappointed in that one. Let's keep everything the same. Wait for more drivers to get back. We can try to do like 3 passes here. Where'd Kevin go? He's already out. Let's go to manual mode. Yeah, everything's chill. Harvest energy. And let's start him right about now. We've got a nice, clear bit of track in front of us. Deploy the ERS, my friend. Godspeed. Damn the torpedoes. We're in 8th place. Everyone has made at least 1 run. I think Alonso might have just gotten in the way a little bit because he's on his in-lap. Yeah, battery's drained. That's fine. Probably not, but whatever. And Kevin does not improve his time. We're still at a 130.5, I think is what we're seeing here. So, who are we expecting to possibly pass us here and bump us down? I don't know if AlphaTauri has it. Aston Martin is this the Aston Martin symbol, by the way? I think so. Or are they both out of the competition right now? This is AlphaTauri? What is this symbol? Man, I don't even know anything. I think Ricardo has vehicle damage. I think that's what that symbol indicates. I really wish we had some kind of context clues, though. A little bit awkward. Shoot, I forgot to reconfigure his car. Go, 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 go. One more pass, my friend. I'm going to let them just automatically do it. See if that makes a difference. All right. Last pass for the qualifying session. We are not quite on the bubble, but we'll get here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and watch from the over-the-shoulder view. Can I get some sector details or anything like that? Yellow. I don't think yellow is better. 33.26 for this sector. I actually don't know what the yellow coloration means. White would just mean that it's not good. But a green means it's a personal best. Somebody bumped us up a little, or bumped us down a little bit. There's still a couple more drivers. All of these drivers have not finished. That's what the checkered flag indicates. So we're still in the danger zone. Norris is on the bubble. We're not having the best lap that we've had. The battery is drained. Oh, what does that little red thing means? What is this? Oh, I think this means we're the driver on the bubble. That is probably what this indicates. So as long as Zhou Guanyu... Dang it. Of course I had to say it, didn't I? Yeah. I don't think we're going to get it because this is not the best lap we've ever done. Everything is yellow, and I don't think that's a good lap. Sure enough, we did not. All right, so we did not get into the last session, the last qualifying, but that's fine. Again, 12th position is really good for Haas. I'm probably not being very fair, right? Because we are a kind of a low-ranked team here, low-estimated performing team. All right, let's jump into the race. Let's talk about strategy. Let's talk about what we're going to do for this race. We've got clear skies tomorrow all day. We've got a lot of good data. Let's talk about car strategy. Now, what we did last time was kind of interesting. Again, the data suggests that we should have a virtual safety car or a actual safety car at some point during this race. And I kind of love this idea of trying for a 2-stop. So why don't we start Mick on, I'd actually kind of prefer to maybe start on the soft tires. So let's start on the soft here and switch to the hard a little bit earlier. So we're going to put him in somewhere around here. This is going to be our window. So he can extend either, he can come in earlier in this window or later in this window, depending on how his tires are doing. So we'll see what his performance is like. And then we'll switch over to the hards, right? That is strategy B. Oh, I guess that was already a strategy. I apparently missed that completely. I think he can go longer on the mediums, though. And then option B would be starting off with the softs. But we're not going to start with the softs at all. We are definitely starting the race on the mediums because he's pretty far back. So let's do another strategy that says... Gosh, do we have enough medium compounds to do a double? I don't think so. I wouldn't mind trying a soft tire in here somewhere. What if we did 2 mediums and a soft tire? Does that make any sense? I don't know. Let's do this one at farther, deeper in the race, and then we'll just have like a sprint to the finish here. We would have an estimated race time of losing 11 seconds maybe, or 11 minutes. It's 1 hour, 17 minutes, 24 seconds. We have no information about which tire is doing better. The track rubber will continue to increase. The track grip will continue to increase through the entire race. The current pace target, I kind of wonder if we can, we can actually change this so that it might automatically happen. Yeah, sure, let's try this. Okay, so we have 2 strategies. We're going to go with the 1-stop first, and then we might switch over to the other strategy if and when we decide that's a thing. I don't know what would, why we would do that. Meanwhile, for Kevin, we did start out with 12. I kind of like the idea of starting on some soft tires. I like trying different strategies with different drivers. I don't like them on the same strategy. So let's go ahead and go with the first plan, which is to run the softs until about maybe a little bit farther up, right? I think we can make that last a little bit longer. Then we're going to go to the mediums. I kind of think we could do the softs here and then do another set of, the mediums, and then do another set of softs at the end of the race. Although we are kind of pushing it. Maybe we could push out 1 more lap. And it's not fantastic, but we did shave about 5 seconds off of our race time here. So at the start of the race, our pace target is aggressive. At the end of the race, our pace is aggressive as well. Sure, we'll go with that. I'm going to make up a new strategy if we don't like that. I'll make it up on the fly. Because that never, ever went bad for anyone. One other thing we didn't talk about is fuel. You can purposefully underload your car. Is that the right phrasing? You can start your car with less fuel than you would need to finish the race. So we could start it with 48 laps, for example. Now, that's not a bad idea because it makes the car 3 kilograms lighter, which means we are saving a little tiny bit of time during every lap. However, how much can we actually underload? 40, it looks like only 48 laps. Yeah, I don't know. Let's make it a little bit, he's going to be going slower, so he should be able to conserve fuel a little bit more. Meanwhile, we'll give Kevin all the fuel up front so he can kind of go into a harder engine mode and be a little bit more aggressive.
The drivers are lined up tonight under mostly clear skies.
Mostly clear.
There we see Kevin Magnussen. And it's Schumacher as the second driver today. Slower than most yesterday. So today
these remind me of some of the early early simulation commentary stuff. It's pretty rough.
Grand Prix. It's lights out. And away we go.
All right, let's take a look over the shoulder view here. Let's go from Magnussen's view to see how things are going. I'm going to tell Kevin to go ahead and be aggressive right out of the gate. We don't want to go super aggressive because last time he spun on his own when we had that aggression. Let's go ahead and also do overtaking right out of the gate as well. See if we can get a couple of places on this first lap when everything's pure chaos. What is going on? Is the AlphaTauri really slow here? Let's push it up a little bit.
Okay, good job. That's 1.
Yep, we just got past Ricardo, or Ricciardo, if you will. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Maybe not full attack would be good. I feel like that's just not smart. I also wouldn't mind being in first-person view and seeing where we are on the track for those of us who aren't familiar. I'm going to try manually deploying here. Let's go to neutral. I don't know where the straights are on this track either. Going back to this view, it's along the front straight here. It's kind of just weavy through a lot of other areas, which means I don't know where the passing zones are. So let's conserve a little. We are pretty close here. Pretty close. Mick's back there doing his own thing. We should have a couple more weaves coming up, and then we should have a pretty hard left turn. There's the DRS detection zone, which means this is, I think this is the last turn coming into the start-finish, line. So let's go ahead and go deploy. We're going to attack aggressively. Ah, someone's passing up against us on the inside here. We've got full deployment. What the heck? I'm assuming that was a data glitch, but that was pretty awful. Like, we slammed on the brakes to avoid getting pinched into the wall.
Just moved up a place.
That was kind of a weird visual bug. Well, I don't really want him to fly into the wall, so let's go ahead and take everything back off again. All right. I'm going to go into this view for a bit. I know we don't have to do necessarily every lap by lap for a while. I'm trying to find the right balance in this Let's Play of showing you the race content at the same time as not doing every single lap.
DRS enabled.
DRS is enabled. We are a second behind Zhou Guanyu, so we should be able to kind of, well, almost. Let me go back over the shoulder view again. Where is the race? I need to see. Don't know how to find it. I want to find the race information about the track. Where are... that would be kind of nice to have the ability to jump out of your race. Kind of how you can jump out of a match of Football Manager and just take a look at more things. What I'm talking about is I want to see the track data. Ah, never mind. Sorry, I'm totally throwing shade without a reason to. So there's a long DRS zone coming. Yeah, so it's almost all along the back and then the front straight here, the start-finish line. So the first detection zone is along the back straight. A couple of chicanes here. They're not really a chicane, more of just medium speed, high speed turns or corners. All right, and the reason I'm trying to look this up is so I can manually trigger when I want Kevin to kind of start pushing and get closer. We need to be within 1 second of the car in front in order for DRS to work. Remember that. So Kevin right now is within 1 second. We'll keep the nice fancy view on for a bit. So as we hit these DRS zones, which should be right about now, you'll see the DRS open and this green indicator light up once we hit DRS. We're still pretty close. Now, Zhou Guanyu is within a second of the car in front of him, so he is definitely going to be getting a boost as well. There's our DRS zone. So the back wing is open. So while Zhou is getting a pull, so are we. Yeah, he's really freaking quick. I want to stay in touch with this group in front. Let's try this again. Let's start pushing aggressively. I really want to keep this gap down. Whoa, hi. Is this us still? We got really close to this pack in front. We're down to 0.1 second. I don't know if they all had some drama or what. Let's not have him attack too aggressively. Let's just do like... literally using the same terms. Let's just go on aggressive, because when we did attack last time, Kevin spun out. And I'm assuming we might want to save this for a different time.
Okay, good job, Kev. That's one.
Nicely done. Let's just keep powering through all these drivers, Kevin. Let's do it.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. Super duper aggressive here. Let's pull it back a notch. Maybe neutral. Maybe just pushing. Like, what if we try every lap right at the start-finish line? That's when we're going to come hyper-aggressive and really go for the pass is along that straight, because we're going to have DRS. We seem to have a pretty decent catch-up speed there, unless there was like just a problem in this entire pack bunched up. We caught up really quick, though. Again, could be a weird thing with the game mechanics. Could be the fact that the engine doesn't always show you what the data is showing you. At the end of the day, this is all simulating numbers. You know what I mean? So, all right, I think we're at the spot where we want to go ahead and deploy, push, and let's go attack. We should be right around the corner. Oops, never mind. I mistimed where we were on the track. We've got a couple more turns until the last turn into the main straight, but this is fine. We'll keep this on. We are in DRS right now. Poor Mick's back there just running his patient race. I'm really not giving him like any kind of commands at all. All right, come on off this turn, Kevin. Get a good run. Oh, God. Wibbly wobbly. Completely fine. Completely normal. There we go. DRS is open. Straight line speed. Is that Fernando? No, it's Ocon. And along the inside, Kevin's got the line going into turn 1. Holding it on the outside of turn 2. And maybe sealing the deal? Yes, possibly. Nicely done, my friend. Do we have enough to dive down the inside of the AlphaTauri? And not so much. Let's go ahead and pull back off a little bit more there. Harvest some more energy. I mean, so far it seems to be working. I don't know how much of this is necessary. This micromanagement is necessary, but it's kind of fun to be aggressive on some of these turns, especially when the pack is so tight. Let's speed it up and get to the back of the track again. At the moment, it is Red Bull, Ferrari, Perez, Sainz, Verstappen, and Leclerc. All right, coming up on the last turn into the main straight, let's go back to that same mode again. Push, deploy, see if we can't grab the AlphaTauri and Valtteri in the same go. That's what I want. Nothing but the best for Kevin. This is kind of hyper-aggressive. Losing ERS, the battery is drained. Did it drain? I swear we had more battery than this, didn't we? We were like 80% or something. Ooh, that was really close. Let's set to neutral. Come back down a step here. We're still good on fuel, which is kind of weird. We're pushing pretty hard. But we still seem... Oh, did we go light? No, we gave him more fuel. So it does kind of make sense that he can go aggressively. By the way, if we do get a safety car, that's going to help us with the fuel situation. So we're kind of, by going aggressively, we're hoping and trying to play into the safety car as well, because that's going to mean we're not burning as much fuel. That means we got extra fuel to play with. We can run the engine at a more aggressive level. I honestly could sit here and just watch this entire race like over the shoulder on a 2x speed. F1 might not be the most exciting thing in the world sometimes, especially if you're a spectator and you watch the races regularly. I generally put the race on in kind of like the background, but after the start of the race, things definitely sometimes get a little bit slow and quiet. Hold up. What is... I think I'm misreading this. The blue bar, I think, is how much ERS we have stored. The yellow bar is how much ERS we're gathering? Does that make sense? Losing... That went really crazy fast. I'm really confused. Yellow flag and safety car in turn 1. What happened? Oh, Perez is into the wall. Perez is into the wall. Verstappen, maybe there's a bit of a contact there. In fact, there is a little exclamation point. So... let's pull all of our drivers back to conservative. I'm assuming they do this on their own, but I'm not going to take any chances. Where are we at with tires? Oh, where's everybody on the track? I need to move this down. Obviously, if we were in a real race, we wouldn't have the ability to pause. Oh, man, I think Mick just passed. Yeah, he passed the pit entry. So no one, except for the back markers, is going to really be able to take advantage of it. If I was a little bit faster, I might have been able to hit that. We are on lap... what? We are on lap... I can't actually tell. Because... lap 7. So we're on lap 7. Our strategy... I should be fair. Let's unpause this. I think it only makes sense that we let the game run. So this is going to play into our strategy for Mick. This is good. But for Kevin... let's go ahead and watch the replay of this crash and see what happened here. Coming down into the turn, it is 3 wide, on a line. Oh no! Oh no, it's a repeat of Baku. Oh, another Red Bull calamity. Is Red Bull completely knocked out? God, that was 20
on the Delta time.
2014? What race was that, guys? 2016 maybe? Where I think it was Ricardo and Verstappen absolutely clobbered each other in Baku. Apparently the game wanted to keep that to heart. All right, we're going to ignore this for the moment. I'm going to actually take a bit of a pause because I need to think this through. So, lap number 7. We're just into the start of our strategy here. Let's make a new strategy where we pit now. We put on the soft tires. Damn, what do we do here? Interesting stuff. We put on the mediums. This is going to give us all the way to lap 35-ish. And we can put on another set of softs. I don't know if that's the right move or not. If we do another set of soft tires, though, early on, we're going to have to pit later. Hold up, why can't I actually... That's weird. Oh, because I've already, like, locked in this stint? Yeah, okay, so we've locked it in somehow. So, if we put the mediums on, right there... How come this locks into place? That's interesting. Put the mediums on, and as soon as it touches during this yellow flag, it kind of locks it here. So the mediums come on here. Another stint would be another set of softs to the end of the race. No, that's not going to work out at all. We can't make a one-stop work. We're going to have to come back into the pit. So 2 mediums. I honestly think the hards would make sense here. The hards are going to let us go longer in this race. And it would be at the end of this lap, not necessarily this lap right now. And then one more stop towards the end. Ugh, I'm really bad at strategy. All right, it's telling us that we're going to lose like 10 seconds of race time, but I don't really know if that's a thing or not. We'll say like we're hyper pushing on the end of this trip. I have no idea. Oh, okay. So your current pace target changes the wear of your tire. So if we're a little bit aggressive, that means that we're going to pretty much wind up burning the mediums, the hards, off around lap 36. I don't think we can do that, to be honest with you. We need these tires to kind of last the entire race. This is an awkward red, yellow flag. So let's switch strategies. We're going to go ahead and pull Kevin into the pits. What data? We saw last race, we saw something that was related to like the performance of the tires, right? I don't remember where that was. Maybe it was in the pits here as we're changing the strategies up. I think it's this right here. Yeah. 5. Okay, so it looks like at this point, all the tires are very close together in performance. Interesting. All right, so we're going to go with the... Hello. No, we're not going to go with the wets. We want to go with the hard tire. That was the planned tire, right? That is what it says, or this conflicts with your current strategy and will override it. Cool, that's what we wanted to do. Excellent stuff. We are going to have the hards on here and pit this lap. No overtaking, of course. That makes sense. That's nuts, though. How's Max's car doing? Max, I think, bumped his wing a little bit, didn't he? Oh, I kind of think we're missing a wing for Max Verstappen. Oh, yeah. What is happening? Did he retire? What is going on back there? I think the car is broken. Everyone's hitting the brakes because they don't want to pass anyone because you're not allowed to pass. God, whoever's weaving back there, I think that's our guy. That's Mick Schumacher. Better be a little bit careful. That was very, very strange. I think that Max had legitimate car failure here. I think there's damage and everyone is passing him. How fascinating is that? I wonder if we're all going to get penalized for passing. Now, I'm assuming... I'm assuming that everyone's going to pit. Let's take a look. Let's see what the leaders are doing. To me, it would make sense that everyone pits here. Watching the leaders. They are not pitting here. They are staying on. But they have softs on, though. Are we the only ones who started with the soft tires? They've got mediums, I mean. Awkward. Well, this isn't great. That means that if we pit right now, we're going to go right to the back of the pack and have to burn through the entire pack to do that. So can we not pit? Cancel the pit stop. Go back to our strategy. Let's go back to the first strat where we're going to pit in a little bit later on. That's awkward. Boy, I really should have paid a little bit more attention to what our competition was doing, huh? Just a wee bit. Okay, so pretty much nobody pitted there. Verstappen, I think actually Verstappen did pit because he had some damage on the car. Safety car is in this lap. Okay.
Copy.
So Carlos is taking the lead and becoming a safety car. Track grip is pretty low. Let's go ahead and get everybody back to a standard push.
Okay to push.
Copy.
If you've got some margin, try to increase the
pace.
pace a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit.
fine. Now, we've got the better tire, though. We've got a more aggressive tire, so I kind of think we should make the most of it. Let's be aggressive. We got plenty of fuel right now. Let's go ahead and push on both drivers. The battery is at 99% for Schumacher. Let's go ahead and deploy.
Going in. Verstappen has the pack.
Yeah, copy.
Deploy on both. Well, this is kind of annoying. No, we are deployed. We are racing. Okay, I thought it deployed a little bit
If
too
you've got
early.
some margin, try to increase the pace a little bit.
Copy.
What if we use this for overtake only? Does that make more sense?
Mode push.
Copy that.
I really like the back and forth on the radio. This is actually
Come on,
really
mate.
satisfying.
Copy.
Who's next to us here? Alfa Romeo of Ocon, who we just made the pass on, I think. Pierre is in front. And then Valtteri, Hamilton, Alonso, Russell, Leclerc, and Sainz. So yeah, Red Bull is completely out of this race. That's brutal, though. That is brutal for Red Bull's chances this year. I mean, there's plenty of races to recover, but I mean, getting knocked out in the second race, both cars, is rough. You'd expect Red Bull to at least place in some points with one of their drivers. So losing both drivers is definitely a bit of a kick in the pants. Let's see how Mick's up. Wait, are we watching Mick? Oh, my fault. I've actually been thinking we were watching Kevin the entire time. So Mick is doing pretty well. Kevin is keeping it relatively close to the AlphaTauri, but I don't really think we're gaining that much. You are... Can we do some overtaking on you? Push, push, push.
Mode push. Mode push.
Let's go back to the interval. Everyone's about 0.2 seconds behind each other. 0.2 of a second. If you don't understand tenths and hundredths and thousandths of a second, you will after watching enough F1. We're coming up on the back of the pack, or the back of the track. Let's go ahead and go full push, deploy, what have
Come
you.
on, you can do this.
Copy.
And out of DRS, pretty much.
Copy that.
We don't have DRS, by the way. That was ERS. DRS does not get deployed for about a lap or two after a yellow flag. Oh, the Alfa Romeo's in our way. We could have had that. Oh, 3 wide on turn 1. Over the curb goes the Alfa Romeo. That theoretically would have given them a much worse exit, but whatever reason, we didn't push through. I mean, this is, again, we're looking at simulation data, not necessarily a live engine. Meanwhile, Mick is actually up into P9, so right behind Kevin. Both cars doing extremely well. I'm going to go back to neutral for Mick. He's doing a longer strategy.
And then focus on apex speed.
Yeah, copy.
Let's go ahead and bring it down a bit for Kevin. I don't want him to go yeeting off the track into the middle distance. I'm going to go back up to the higher view. I know I'm going long on this episode too, so I'm going to probably wind up cutting out a little bit of the practice. But let's speed up a little bit. I'll bring you back if anything interesting happens. It's only been 10 laps into this race. This is kind of crazy. This is going to be like an hour-long F1. It's just going to be like a race. It's going to be like a race every episode is what I'm going to wind up doing. I'm obsessed with watching every little instance of it. All right, coming back to really quickly look at our strategy with Kevin. So Kevin's strategy, we are conserving more of our soft tire than expected. So I think we can go deeper into our pit window and maybe have a pit around lap 15 or 16. We're at about 50 some odd % on the performance of our soft tire. The leaders are at 70% on their mediums, and of course the hard tires are going to be performing better. The part that I find challenging is kind of, you have to separate yourself from what you're seeing, because eventually once we pit, it becomes a completely different game, right? Because everyone else still has to pit at some point too. So obviously at the end of the day, you're just trying to make the best lap times you can, but it's really hard to get a sense of where everything's going to come out at the end of the day. The problem that I see, I think everyone else is actually on as a one stop. I think everyone else is doing what Mick is doing. There's no way. Ooh, you know what? What if he really extends the life of this stint, this tire, we could make a hard tire work for us through the end of the race. It would definitely have to be some conservation. If everyone else is on the one stop, we change our pace target to here. He definitely conserving the tire more than because the red line is the data we got from practice indicating that this is the ramp of tire wear, but Kevin's actually conserving tires a little bit, which makes me think we're going to come in to the extreme wear right around here. So if he can conserve the hard tires too, we can make a one-stop work. Let's create this strategy and switch over to Strat B. We're getting passed by Mick. How fantastic. A little surprising, actually. Although it's weird, we're actually pushing. We are conserving ERS, so we're not really deploying the ERS there. We do not want to lose the pack. Who's behind us at this point? Esteban Ocon is right behind us from Kevin's position. I mean, let's jump up to Mick. Maybe Mick is just rocking it right now and can make a little bit of overtakes happen. Let's go ahead and harvest a little bit.
Okay, charge on, charge on.
Copy.
Charge on, indeed, my friend.
So overtake is available if you need it.
Copy that.
Charge off.
Copy that.
Okay, so we are on about lap 15 right now. We're definitely inside of our pit window. The tires are coming down to about 30%. And Kevin's still doing a pretty decent job. I think what I'd like to do is push really hard this last lap. And we're going to go ahead and have him come in. We're not really going to catch up to this group, but I'd like to grab the DRS if we can. So we got to stay close enough. I think we passed the DRS detection zone right there. That was the DRS window, so where it's open. So this is the first DRS zone. If we can get close enough, we should tag another DRS zone, timing zone for the start of this front straight. So let's have a nice, hard, aggressive lap. There we go. Nice, right behind somebody else. We are overtaking with ERS. This is the optimal lap for pitting with our current strategy. Let's go ahead and open our options. We are switching over to the hards. No changes on the car, of course. And off we go. By the way, if you're wondering why... Wow! Holy crap, how many cars did we just... Oh boy, that was ugly. I wonder if we're going to have any penalties for that. We were on the inside of like 3 cars there, going down to turn 1. We only wound up passing one person, correct? Yeah, we only wound up passing Valtteri. Holy cow. 3 into turn 1 does not go, as it were. If you're wondering why we don't do any refueling, by the way, if you're kind of learning about F1 as we go here, F1 stopped refueling in somewhere like 2017 or 2018 or something, when there was a pretty massive spill of fuel and a huge fireball in the pits. God, it might have been Pierre Gasly? I don't remember who had that explosion, but it wasn't an explosion per se. All the fuel lit off, and no one was really injured, but it was the last season where they did mid-race refueling. So now everyone has to fuel up at the start of the race. So there you go, a little bit of a Formula One history. I'm probably remembering that somewhat incorrectly, but hey, there you go. We're going to watch this first pit stop as Kevin comes on in. And these episodes are running so long because it's so hard for me not to pass up and get excited about things like pit stops or accidents. We're only on lap 17 too. I'm going to have to cut like all of the practice footage. Like, all right, guys, here's practice. We did good. And now on to the race. All right, so we're carrying a little bit of extra fuel, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and have Kevin start burning that off because technically by having a +2 laps of fuel, that means we're actually a little bit heavier than the other cars, which means our lap time is going to be affected by that. So I'm going to have Kevin kind of push it a little bit. And let's be a little bit aggressive to bring these tires up to speed.
If you've got some margin, try to increase the pace a little bit.
Copy that.
I appreciate that the drivers are so calm and there's no arguments whatsoever from our magical drivers here that don't fight us. All right, the leaders are coming in for a pit stop. I'm going to go ahead and send Schumacher into the pits one more lap from now. So, in fact, let's go ahead and just have a... I think we're farther back in the course right now, too. So you are on the front straight. So we'll have him do a bit of a harder lap in just a minute. Meanwhile, we did just get past... what was that? Oh, somebody just came out of the pits flying, I think, is what that was. Pit stop for another team. That's fair. God, I really want to see the timing sheet. So, Zhou Guanyu just came through. A little surprised. Why are we still so far down? Didn't everyone just pit? I guess everyone had a pretty big gap. I think I missed that. I definitely messed up our strat here, maybe. Did everyone manage to get in the pits and out? We are about 26 seconds behind the leaders. Where's the tires situation? 98%. Okay, not everyone has pitted yet. So we should be able to catch up to a lot of the other drivers in front of us, or at least get a little bit closer. Although we've been on our tires longer. So we're going to be on the hards earlier, but so I think we're going to have to play it a little bit cautious and conserve some of that tire quality in order to make sure we're not burning off the last little bit. This is the optimal lap to be pitting with our current strategy. Where did my lovely friend go? Let's ignore you. Schumacher, you are somewhere right along the front straight. So let's have a pretty aggressive lap. Let's go ahead and deploy the DRS. Get all the speed you can. Have a pretty nice in-lap.
Let's catch him.
Let's catch him. I will go ahead and mark this over to pit. We're moving on to the hards, although a couple laps behind everybody else doing hards, but that's fine. That's fine. Yellow flag in Sector 2.
Seems to have been a lockup.
Just a lockup, nothing too terrible. Leclerc is down in 10th place. By the way, Max Verstappen has been charging back through the field. He has not pitted, though. So that is something to keep in mind. We are going to be passing our teammate here to come up to 11th place. Nope, he actually got out in front of everybody. Nicely done. I really haven't planned that either. Sector 2 accident, or... Ooh. That's kind of not terrible. Everyone else... Oh, man, it's bad for the leaders. What's going on up here? Sector 2. I am cheating a little bit. Did Max go wide, or did he... I think he spun. Or just went super wide.
Oh, big lock up there.
Okay,
Let's
just a
take
lock up.
Closer look.
So
Now here
dramatic
we
just
see
for a lockup.
Max Verstappen. And yes, that's the lock.
I'm sure the engine will be tweaked over time and have like it. That'll be a smoother, kind of a smoother transition when someone locks up or something like that. But it is kind of funny that they almost come to a stop and then like gently go back onto the track. Okay, so a quick race update here around lap 30 or so. It seems like we're kind of where we expected to be, but I do not think I played it right with Kevin. Because at the moment, his hards are at 74%, and it's one of the most worn tires out there. There are still a few more folks who have to pit. But they are... Let's see, we're 28 seconds from the leader. They are 11 or so. So we actually might get a couple more positions when these drivers come in for the pits. And they're definitely going to have to pit before the end of the race. I'm assuming they're actually going to soft tires here. So that's pretty much the leaders. Carlos Sainz is going to be in the lead of this race. So it's going to be double Ferrari at the front. Kevin keeps playing with Lando Norris here a little bit. I think I'm honestly going to have to bring him off a little bit on pace because we have to conserve the tires, I think, in order to get to...
I'm sorry about this.
Oh, no. To the end of the race. Schumacher spun.
Yep,
What does that do to tire quality? It didn't seem to have a massive impact. He spun out. He's still 14th place.
Oh, we've had a spin.
I don't even want to watch it. I don't see like a massive dip in quality of the tire, so I'm guessing it wasn't all that bad. He did lose a couple places there. God, he wasn't even on an aggressive setting either. All right. So Kevin's going to back off. I don't think I'm going to show too much of the rest of the race because I think we're going to be kind of here until the next pit window. Yuki Tsunoda is a little bit
Looks like there's been a lock
off on our pace. He's 4.7, 4.6, 4.5. ERS is fully charged. I was kind of getting a little bit more build up there. So let's go back to neutral for both of them. So maybe that'll keep Yuki Tsunoda behind. I'm going to speed things up. I know I'm pushing over the time limit on this episode, so let's go ahead and just speed forward a bit. I will give you any vital updates like crashes, but I think we're going to just push this through until the end of the race because, oh, there's the big pit windows, and we did jump up a couple more positions. We're up to 10th place now, so we are in the points again, but I don't know if that's going to be able to last. All right, friends, we've got about 3 laps left in the race. A little bit of an update here as we approach the end. I think that the tires really start to wear off there at the end because everyone pretty much caught up with us. Most of the other drivers are on softs at this point, or this, sorry, not softs, or the mediums right now. So we're still holding firm at 34%. That's really awful, which I think means the farther down you go, I don't know exactly where the data is at, but somewhere along the way, it should tell us. I'm sure there's like some way to see this. Aha. I'm looking for Kevin's laps. So every lap, can I see like just what we're doing? 133, yellow flag in sector 2. That's just Max locking up in sector 2. Last lap of the race, Carlos Sainz is in the lead. We're at 11th and 14th though. Again, not bad. Not bad for Haas. We are out of the points. We're one. Let's do the interval here. We are pretty far behind Mick Schumacher is pretty far behind Lando. I don't think we're going to get Lando. I would like to hold off Valtteri if we can. So why don't we go ahead and defend, push the tires a little bit more. I don't think Kevin really has much going on. Let's take a look at what's going on with him. Kevin and Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda's 23 seconds back. So I'm not terribly worried about that. If Mick can hold this off, we'll slot in here at a nice 11th place, which is definitely not bad. Although, actually, Lando, for some reason... Oh, hold up. What was that? Oh, that was a lap car. That was a back marker. Oh, for some reason, the back marker like almost took out the people behind us, though, which is kind of nuts. So Lando had to slow down quite a bit, but this is the front straight, so we are not going to be able to catch up to him. Hang on, where's he at? 1.5 seconds in front? Oh my gosh, I'm misreading that. He's 1.5 away from Esteban.
Starting
all right.
Last lap.
Here's our last lap. Apparently I can't read anymore. I keep thinking that it's always the, we're on the final lap when we're definitely not. So we're 4 seconds behind Lando. Not going to happen. Unless they crash. Which, you know, not that I'm saying that I hope they do. I would never hope for that. Kevin just overtook Ricardo for 13th position. Not too shabby. Is there anyone in front of you, my friend? We are 2 seconds behind Valtteri. No. So if we could maybe hold off, let's go ahead and use this to defend. If we can hold off Ricciardo, we can actually push right now. And let's not push the tires, though, because these tires are not doing so hot. I wonder if the tires blow out if they lose all of their condition. We should be on the back straight now.
He's taken the win.
Carlos Sainz has won here at Saudi Arabia. We are defending against Ricardo along the back straight, going into the final turn here in just a minute, I think. That should be the front straight right around. Oh, we can't see right where we're at. So there's like one stretch of back straight. There's a DRS zone. Then the next stretch here is also a DRS zone. We're also holding off Valtteri in front of us with Mick Schumacher. So not too bad, guys. I'm pretty happy about how this team is doing. I mean, again, you might not think like, you know, first place, if you're not first, you're last. That's not the case. Like, we are definitely firmly...
Checkered flag, Mick. That's the checkered flag.
We are firmly in the middle of the table. I actually missed it, but I think we got passed by Valtteri there right at the end. But that's fine. That's fantastic, guys. 12th and 13th place. So both drivers with their cars are doing pretty well. Very close together in performance. 2 different strategies. They both kind of came together in the end. And yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. How did the winners come into it with the tires, I should ask? I want to do a little bit of checking out about... I really don't have much else. Data view? Aha! What I'm curious about is tire history. So everybody pretty much went with a one-stopper. Yeah, there's the one stop. Max had 2 stops, but Max also crashed. Double Red Bull trouble. But I will say, Red Bull came all the way back from last place to 7th. That's a pretty good recovery. Well done. Full respect, as they say. Full respect to Max Verstappen for bringing it back and managing to still catch some points for Red Bull. Meanwhile, Taking a look at the standings right now, Carlos Sainz is in the lead of the Drivers' Championship with 25 points at the end of Saudi Arabia. Charles Leclerc is at 18 points. Lewis Hamilton 15 in points. Constructors' Championship. We've got Ferrari on top with Red Bull pretty far behind. So a huge, huge lead right now for Ferrari, although Mercedes just jumped up 4 positions this race. Not too bad. We did drop down a position, but as long as we're competing with, is it called the best of the rest? I kind of think the mid-table. We are competing here. That's not too bad. I probably need to do a little bit better on my strategy, my strategery, but that'll happen over time. A little bit of driver experience there. Fantastic stuff. We didn't do... Oh, that's right, because he only made 1 qualifying session, so he didn't get more qualifying experience. Interesting. Average, good performance, growth potential. Oh, so it all gets multiplied by their growth potential. Cool stuff. Awesome, awesome. How do we do with our sponsors? We got our qualifying position. We didn't... These were the incentives. This is with the guarantee. So I didn't lose any money because we did, in fact, qualify through that first session. Awesome. All right, friends. That's way more than I think I should have had in this episode. I'll keep working on getting that timing down, but hope you don't mind for a longer episode. I'll try to cut out what is a little bit superfluous. But otherwise, my friends, I will see you again in the next episode, though. Until then, take care.